Good morning, Lamont. Thanks for your time today.
Hey, I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right.
Lamont, your teammates have often or have always considered you a leader, but what does it mean to you to be named a team captain? And is it something that you had thought about for a long time before it happened?
Yeah. It's a tremendous honor. I can't even really explain, how much it means to me, to be voted at by your peers, by the coaches and the players as, one of the guys to be one of the leaders of this team. And no, no, it's not, I did not really, thought of. It was just me being me just being naturally real, just being authentic, and the guys, they bought into that, and it's hard to say about because I'm shocked. Honestly, I'm tremendously grateful for this opportunity, and yeah, it's amazing.
Mark Brennan.
Lamont, what's it mean to you to have this week finally be here as a senior? I'm sure there were times where you were wondering if you would even get to play. So for it to finally be here, what does this feel like for you?
Man, I can't wait, man. It's been long enough, we done had enough time to work all the kinks out, do what we got to do. But now I'm excited to get out there and finally be able to put the talents of our defense, talents of our team on display.
Bias Wilborn.
Yo, Lamont. First of all, thanks for doing this, man. Always. Secondly, what does Journey Brown demand mean to you, and how tough is it going to be not having him as a teammate on the field this year?
That's a huge loss as far as a player standpoint, as far as a energy standpoint, as far as just having another guy who leads by example. Journey, his impact is tremendously felt throughout the whole team because Journey's just one of those guys. It's gonna be hard, but just having him still be out there with us and having him still being able to still talk to him, be able to still crack jokes and everything. That's all right for now,
Paul Gable.
Hey, Lamont, thanks for the time. Yesterday in his press conference, IU head football coach Tom Allen talked about how impressed he was with your guys' defense. When you look at IU's offense, obviously we know about WAP and Peyton Hendershot, but the biggest change is Michael Penix at quarterback. What do you know about Penix? What about him has garnered your attention? And also, second question, both teams open up week one with brand new offensive coordinators. From a defensive standpoint, how tough is that coming right off the bat?
The quarterback, I think we've seen a little bit of him. He got hurt. What was that, 2 years ago? So we know he has good confidence in throwing the ball. We know he's going to throw the ball. We know that's what he do. He's going to put that out there. And he's also a guy who could run as well. He could use his feet too. And just with as far as the new offensive coordinator, that they already had that guy who's the OC now on their staff. So it's kind of like just a staff thing. So it's we're kind of assuming that the same offense is in play, the same things basically that we seen on film because it kind of worked for them last year. They had a decent season. They did some good things with that offense last year. So we don't think they're going to go too much far away from it.
Donahue.
Hi, Lamont. Thanks for the time on a game week. Wanted to ask about that linebacker group working ahead of you because Jesse Luketa felt like they're going to come into the season hungry, ready to prove that they're more than just Micah Parsons. And what do you think about those three new starters? What are your expectations for LBU in 2020?
Yeah, I feel like they're all anxious to play and to actually show what they got because, while Micah here, the All-American big dog is a lot of guys get overlooked whenever that happens, and they feel like, we know that Michael was that, anchor, but they feel like there are some very talented guys as well who deserve some recognition. You know what I mean? And I feel like all three of those guys are ready for that task. They're mature guys. It's kind of like just like a LBU standard in our room. You know how those guys operate, and I don't see no type of drop off. I know those boys are ready to go.
And Jones?
Lamont, there's obviously, at the end of the day, no matter how you think about it, a difference between playing an out-of-conference team week one and playing a Big Ten team that has some familiarity with you. You have some familiarity with them. How do you kind of approach the intensity of a conference play right off the bat versus, maybe 3 weeks to kind of get going?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really, see from that perspective of it, because first game for me, just for me, I know the program operates the same way as well. But for me, I don't really I'm not looking at the schedule like this is, we got Pitt week one or Kent week one, or like it's honestly no difference. Like when I say that, there's really no difference. No matter if it was Indiana week one, whoever it was week one, it's literally the same approach. So there's no difficulty in that. It's fairly easy because this is what we do. We play the game of football and we play to win. So no matter who's on that field, we got to win.
Rich Scarcella?
Lamont, what have you seen from your cornerbacks leading up to this game, especially the young guys, and what do you expect from them the next 8-9 weeks?
I'm real excited about our cornerback room. We got a lot of guys who can make plays in that room. We got a lot of guys who can cover. We got a lot of guys who can follow guys around the field, and I feel like it's going to show. It's going to show this year. We got guys who can run. We have tall guys with length. We have, the shorter, faster guys. We got essentially, any type of makeup to match up with whatever receiver we're going to be going against. So I'm excited about that corner.
Hey, Lamont, you good?
Yeah, I got you now.
All right, cool. Rich was asking you about the cornerbacks, but I was just wondering for the secondary in general, how much of a point of emphasis turnover creation has been, interceptions from that back end of the defense?
It's actually been a huge emphasis, because when we went back and looked at our dropped interceptions, we led the country in dropped interceptions. And if we catch, I think, like half of those, then now we lead the country in actual interceptions. So it's been an emphasis, pre-practice, getting out on jug machines, making sure we get our hands on balls, knowing that we have to come up with these balls. We cannot continue to make these, same mistakes, drop the same passes we dropped before, because we know we got to get over the hump. You know what I mean? So we know that we got to do everything better than last year, and it starts with, making plays on the ball.
Tyler Donahue?
Lamont, we're going to see the depth chart at some point today, I believe. But regardless of who's starting in that cornerback spot across of Tariq, what do you think about that collection of second-year cornerbacks, Joey, Daquan, Keaton, and of course, Marquise? What is that group? What have they done for the defensive backfield since they arrived, and what do you think you're going to get out of them in 2020?
I think what they kind of did was, they gave Coach Pride kind of a sense of, easing. You know what I mean? Having guys coming in here that can run, guys that could jump, guys that can cover, guys that can, do that all game. And I think, like I said, what's best is, made it a little bit easier on Coach Pride, going in these different situations where we're like in man coverage or whatever. So the depth they have in that room, like you could literally rotate, like any one of those guys could be listed as starter, and I don't have like no doubts in my mind that they won't do what they have to do.
And Free?
Lamont, thanks for your time today. Just in general, kind of across the secondary, what do you think the biggest difference we'll see this year?
I feel like the biggest difference is play calling in that back end. Whenever whenever the defense was starting, it was kind of more of a. There were more DBs who could who were like more run supporters. Bigger guys, not as much cover guys. So whenever you have those type of players in your defense, you have to kind of have the defense form around those guys. But now we have guys who can run. We have guys with speed. We have guys who, got a lot of offense experience in high school, guys that are just athletes and guys that can play. So I feel like the biggest thing will come with the play calling.
Parth?
What's going on, Lamont? How you doing?
Mari, how you?
Doing well. I got a chance to talk to your dad a little bit yesterday on the phone, and we kind of talked about, some of the same stuff that I asked you about during one of the media days. You talked about just you having a tremendous opportunity this year, being named a captain, being able to kind of cement yourself and get to the next level and provide for Roman and for your family. All that is great, but with all that, is there a certain amount of pressure that you feel to do certain things this year in order to make those things happen?
I wouldn't say it could be pressure depending on how you're looking at it, but for me, it was I forget who said the quote, but it was a quote that said, "Do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do." And I know, the things that I have to do, the things that I have to improve on, the areas I have to get better at. So it's kind of, our first core value for real, sacrifice. Knowing that, you got to sacrifice some things in order for things to play out differently in the future, then you gotta buckle up and do what you got to do. So I think it's more of sacrifice than pressure.
Tyler Donahue?
I'm going to go back into that cornerback room and ask about someone specifically, Joey Porter. We didn't see him as much as Marquise or Keaton last year, but continue to hear really good things about what he's doing on the practice field for you guys. With that wingspan, with the NFL pedigree, what kind of a package are we talking about at cornerback with Joey?
Man, I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm a Joey Porter fan. I like Joey could ball, man. Joey could ball, and it fit right along with the other guys that are in that secondary, and having whenever Tariq is out there and having Tariq and Joey, two corners that are over 6 foot, whose arm span, how you said the arm spans are ridiculous, especially Joey's. Man, his upside is amazing, and the only thing that will stop him from a first round draft pick is himself. Literally, that's it. So,
Mark Brand?
Lamont, can you take us back to when you approached Coach Lorig about returning kicks, and just take us through that situation, and you think you're going to get that opportunity?
I actually said this to Coach Lorig last year. I said this to him before the start of last year. Whenever he first came, he was kind of just getting his feet wet, and he didn't know anything. So I made sure I introduced myself to him and let him know. But I've been working out back there, and some depth chart I guess supposed to come out soon. So I guess we'll see when that depth chart come out.
Rich Scarcella?
Lamont, to follow up on Parth's question, how has your son changed your life and changed you?
Yeah, he that boy, he made everything real, I guess you can say. And in the midst of some troubling times and stuff I was going through, not playing as much as I wanted to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He popped up. So it was kind of like a focus thing, get back on track thing, put your head in the right place where it's supposed to be type thing, because I like how I said, whenever me going into the portal to just doing this soul searching I was doing, trying to find out what it was, why wasn't stuff clicking, and I guess he just sped that process up, because stuff got real a lot faster for me, and I had to realize that there wasn't no other other option. While I was going through this process, I doubt myself, of course, doubt myself, not know what I want to do, be sometime you have a negative attitude. But when he coming around, I can't doubt myself because I got somebody depending on me. I can't have a negative attitude because my negative attitude will go on him, and X, Y, Z. So that's a whole like a part of it.
Tyler Donahue.
Lamont, you've watched all the running backs come in. You came in with Journey, but with him being sidelined right now, what can you tell us about that group for people who are concerned that Journey's absence is going to kind of ruin plans at the running back spot? And what have you seen from those two freshmen, and Kevon and Keziah, since they've been able to get to the practice field?
I hope people are not forgetting about Noah Kane. That boy Noah is a dog. Noah, that's my boy. That's my youngin' for real. I always talk to Noah. Noah always come over. We always chat. Noah, he ready. He tuned in now more than ever because he know the responsibility that's on his back. And I tell him all the time, and he know, and he takes a serious approach with it. Devin, I feel like Devin helps with that speed aspect of it, losing Journey. Devin also knowing that he has to step it up. And Devin looking good. Devin looking a little bit shiftier than last year and everything. And those two freshmen, Keziah and Kevon, those guys are. Kevon is a hard runner, and Keziah is a smart all around, complete back. So the recruiting coach Sider and them guys been doing is bar none for real. He's doing his thing, and I really don't. Losing Journey hurt us. It hurt us a lot, but I don't have no concerns. I do truly believe and know that room is going to get it done still.
We have time for two more. We'll go to Parth.
Lamont, with this new tradition that y'all started with the number 0 and everything that kind of comes with that we've learned, what makes Sutherland the best fit for that number?
Sav is your prototype. This is how you do it, guy. He handles his stuff on the field the right way. The approach he take, always taking notes, always asking questions. He handled his approach off the field the right way. They talk about being on lists, and when they say being on list, that means being on list the wrong way. You being late to class, you missing the meeting, XYZ. I don't think Sav has ever popped up on a list at all. So he's not giving nobody no hard time. And he works hard. He doesn't complain. He goes out there, busts his butt, does his job, and it's like what more can you get? And that's literally why Sub has that 0, because he's the complete package of what you should do whenever you come to play college football on and off the field. And he's shown that throughout these 4 years.
We'll finish with Nate Bauer.
Lamont, I'm not sure necessarily what you would have to compare it against, but with Penn State's approach to special teams, is it different, necessarily from other programs? Is it what you expected before you got to Penn State? Like, how do you see, the way that James Franklin kind of directs the emphasis on special teams?
Yeah, I kind of seen how important, that special teams thing was when I first came here with Coach Huff and how Coach Huff ran things. Coach Huff ran things, pretty tight out there, and I was like, oh, this is real. And that has only gotten, even more detailed, even more to the T with Coach Lorick coming in here, and him. The periods we do in practice, just the time we take out to be detailed in special teams, because special teams there are game-changing plays in special teams, and we realize that. And for us to take that approach to realize that, I feel like it won't do nothing but help us win.